Alright, hello everyone, welcome to Grand Arena, Season 16, this is Round 2. So I did not record my Round 1 from this Grand Arena, because my opponent just auto-set his defense, so it would not have been at all entertaining or educational. Although there was actually one team in here that was kind of surprising, which was this R2-led team, simply because the SWGOH kept on dispelling my stealth, and BB-8 kept counterattacking and calling R2 to assist, and there was a lot of stuns. That was kind of funny. I didn't have that hard of a time with it, still took it out, but it was definitely an interesting combination. But yeah, so there was not anything really entertaining on Round 1. So Round 2 here, I'm against Mr. Ammo 2. It is not going to be a very difficult fight, I believe. But here we'll take a look at the matchup. Let's see here. Here we go. So this is the basic matchup. You see that our character GPs are pretty even. Ship GP, I am ahead by about 100k. I am way more competitive in squad arena than he is. We are both competitive in ship arena. We are even on zetas. And 7-star, I've got a small advantage. Gear 12, he has a major advantage. And that's because a lot of times I will bring a character up to gear 11 and leave him there. Simply so that I can just continuously bring up teams that I can actually use. So I have a lot of characters sitting at gear 11. Like my Night Sisters a lot of them are gear 11. My Troopers are gear 11. So I need to bring them up to 12. I just haven't had a chance because they are continuously changing the metas, which is forcing those characters back. So 6-dot mods, I've got an advantage, pretty clear. Including speed, offense. Like I've got an advantage on pretty much every aspect. So it's not going to be an extremely difficult fight, I'm sure. But at the very least, we'll get to go over counters and do some practice. I did go and hey, Abilma, thanks for joining in. You're just in time for the Grand Arena. So last night, I went and I did a review of his roster and guessed as to what kind of teams I would see on defense. And based on that, I set my defense, and I've set aside teams that I was going to use to counter the teams that I saw on offense. So here, this spreadsheet is basically what I expected to see. So the teams in red here, enemy defense, these are what I expected to see. These 7 teams. The teams that are highlighted in the yellow are the teams that are actually on defense. So he actually did save his Traya and Night Sisters for offense. And instead, he has a second Bounty Hunter team, and I forget what the other team was. He's got a second Bounty Hunter team and a Finn-led Resistance team. And if I'm not mistaken, his Poe was kind of fast. So not to be underestimated. Okay. So he's got actually Traya and Night Sisters for offense. But he's got a lot to go through. My Darth Revan and Malak are on defense, so he has to use his Jedi Revan to counter that. And he probably will have to take in a second team unless he can get his Jedi Knight Revan with Thrawn to work, which I don't know that he's fast enough to do that. So he's still got Bastila, CLS, Palpatine, Troopers, Jedi Ray. He's got a really good Ackbar Leia, so he could possibly use those on offense as well. So these are the teams I've saved for offense, and I was basically planning using EP to counter Bounty Hunters, Kira Nest, Hoda to counter Phoenix, Jedi Ray for First Order, CLS for Scoundrels, Padme for Grievous, and that still leaves Jedi Knight Revan and Traya, as well as Troopers to counter his second Bounty Hunter team, and the Finn Resistance. So there you go, that's our matchup. So Bilma, you're saying that I have lots of Gear 11 because the meta changes a lot, but you feel like some teams like CLS will always be good in any meta. That is 100% true, and if you take a look at my roster, currently I'm working on Padme, Ahsoka, and Anakin. That's my next project, as that is a new real meta team. But if you look at like the other metas, so we got Sith, right? So I've got my Palpatine, Traya, Nihilus, Scion, etc. They're fully zeted, they're fully gold. My Sith Empire is fully done. My Resistance team is not fully done in that I don't have the Trooper as Scavenger Ray or Finn, but the rest are at least Gear 12. My Rebels are Gear 12. So the teams that are actually truly meta, I pretty much do have to Gear 12, with the exception of Night Sisters. Night Sisters was, I'd say, the one truly meta team that I never finished. Well, First Order too. I never even started on First Order, honestly. So this is actually somewhat embarrassing. I've got 4.3 million GP, and my First Order is really, really bad. But I've never really had a reason to bring those guys up. Alright, so, yeah, and then as I suspected, he did save his Millennium Falcon for offense, so he put in the Slicer, the TIE Reaper, and the Boba Fett, the Slave One, and then probably gonna have Houndstooth as a reinforcement would be my guess. Actually, probably not, now that I think about it, because I think he'll use the Houndstooth and Biggs with Millennium Falcon on his offensive fleet. For my defense, I did also set Thrawn with Geos, and I believe I set Biggs as a reinforcement in that, along with some of the High Advanced and Cad Bane ship, Xanadu's Blood. So it's not something to sneeze at, but it should not be a problem for Millennium Falcon. Alright, so we are ready to go ahead and get into this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the ships. Do a generic Millennium Falcon, Bistan, Han, and then I'll bring in 3 reinforcements. That should be enough. I'm going to save the last slot for an additional banner or so. I highly doubt that I'll even need the 3rd reinforcement, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Okay. We're going to start off by taking out the TIE Reaper over there. I do not like the turn meter reduction on the capital ship. Next target is going to be the Slicer, because I don't like stuns. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to go ahead and I will bring in this guy and just wipe him out big time. And there we go. Easy win. Almost full health and full protection on everyone, and I did get additional banners for the empty slot. Just seeing how many additional banners on the replay here, because I didn't actually look at that. Unused slots plus 3 banners for the unused slot. I definitely could have gone way less and gotten even more banners, but it was better to be safe. Alright, so let's so this we can go over their team real quick. So we have a Dooku-led team with Geos and Grievous, which could be a little bit problematic. We've got Geonosian Spy in there, who can be a pretty good sleeper. If I'm using a team that has a lot of buffs, Geo Spy can actually hit really hard. And Dooku's leadership now gives counterattack chance for everyone, so that could actually be a little bit difficult. I'm not expecting too much of a problem, but it could be a little difficult. There's the Scoundrels there with Zeta mission, Zeta Zalbar, Zeta Vandor. So that's not gonna be a joke to deal with. He's got a fully Gear 12, fully Zetaed Phoenix team. So once again, not something to really laugh at. It's something to laugh at because it is Phoenix and they are fully Zetaed and fully Gear 12. That's a lot of gear and a lot of Zetas to throw at a team that really underperforms. But it's not something to underestimate either. There's his crew. Double Zeta crew, I want to say he's fairly fast. Executioner, TIE Fighter pilot. So that is one that I'll take my Resistance team against. I use my Jedi Ray, and I've got a trick where I pretty much always will end with full health and full protection. So I'm going to go over that. And then we've got the Embo-led bounty hunter. So Embo's lead gives counterattack chance. So AoEs on this team is going to be kind of bad, but at the same time he does have a very low Aura Sing in that, so I'm thinking about doing troopers against that team. So then we've got Finn Resistance, and again he's got 2 low-level characters, but one of them is a tank, so she's going to have some hit points. Got to figure out how I'm going to counter that one. I might do Treya or something. And then he's got bounty hunters under Bosk lead. So that one will maybe be a Emperor Palpatine. Let me take a look-see here. First Order, Bounty Hunters. Yeah, probably going to use EP against that one, as that is what I was planning to use against his Bounty Hunters, was an EP team. And this is the tougher of the two, so that's probably what I'll use my EP on. So I was planning on, when I saw his Grievous, I was planning on using my Padme against it. Not sure how well Padme will do. I haven't really used Padme on offense at all. I'm not really worried about losing the Grand Arena, because I think he's going to have a pretty difficult time getting through my defenses. I did put 2 filler teams in, and that was my Wigs team and my Ewok team. The rest of these are pretty well geared, pretty well modded. So he's probably going to have a little bit of trouble getting through them all. Especially my Dark Revan team. So I do think I have at least 1 battle to spare. So if my plan to use Padme goes south, I can always bring in like my my Jedi Revan team to finish up this this team. But I do want to see how my Padme is going to work out, so I'm going to go ahead and bring her in. And unfortunately, I don't have the Zeta currently, or in this Grand Arena on Ahsoka. I did just put it on today. Question is, who do I want to be the 5th? Do I want to do Kenobi, or do I want to do like 3PO? And I'm thinking Kenobi. I don't really plan on using him anywhere else, except for possibly the Jedi Knight Revan. But I mean, Jedi Knight Revan won't have a problem with any of these teams that he has on defense. Last month there was a couple of rank 1 Ewok teams in the arena. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. Ewok teams could beat Jedi Knight Revan. I mean, it's possible. It's not likely. They don't stand a chance against Darth Revan. But if you had a extremely well modded Ewok team, they could beat a Darth Revan team. I've seen it. Alright, but I think I'm gonna go with this against General Grievous. We're gonna see what happens. It'll at least be fun to get to use a new team. And they've got all of this counterattacks out of turn, which probably going to cause them to lose. Because when they do all the counterattacks and stuff, and it's just going to be nice and easy. I'm going to start on, I think, the Geo Soldier. He's going to be my #1 target. And that did really well. But now that Spy is out of stealth, I'm going to focus on him. And my Wet Noodle, Zaris, is pretty beefy. I'm going to avoid doing AoEs because I do not want the nastiness of the counterattacks coming back at me. See what kind of damage I can do here. Okay, this should finish off Spy. And next will be General Grievous. Let's work him down. Wet Noodle. Let's see here. They're low enough on health that I think that I can go ahead and AoE and kill those two, and that's worth it. Okay. I'm gonna hold off on attacking Dooku until I hopefully can get a stun. Except for this one, I want to dispel that buff that he's got. Okay. We'll Wet Noodle over here on Sun Fac. Get him pretty hard that time. Alright, more protection up. This is going to be the end of Dooku. Wow. Way harder than I thought. And there we go. So, nice and easy. Good old Padme. That was definite overkill. 58 banners. I just got the notification from my streaming app. Looks like I dropped some packets a couple seconds ago, so hopefully the quality didn't drop too bad. Alright, so next team is this First Order team. So I'm going to bring my Resistance. And this, what I do here actually takes a bit of time. And the more that I talk while I fight, the harder it is for me to actually do this. So I'm going to try to give an explanation of what I do to try to end on full banners here before I start the fight, so that I don't have to concentrate on talking during the fight. Basically, what it comes down to is using Crew's leadership against himself. So Crew, with his leadership, anytime he suffers a debuff or gains a buff, and this goes for all First Order, they recover 5% health and protection. So Rey's first special gives healing immunity that's undispellable. So that's how you end up killing them, is by using the special and then focusing them down. But Rey's second special inflicts like 4 debuffs. And it removes the turn meter, of course. So the idea is you kill off all of the DPS, and once the DPS is down, you're basically just spamming debuffs. Looks like I just dropped more packets, so sorry once again about that. I think that's got to do with my internet. It's been kind of iffy lately, so I do apologize. So the idea is that you use Rey's second special, Mind Trick, to basically get them to regenerate health and protection, while you're using Finn's Taunt to also regen protection and health if you need it, but it should hopefully never get to that. And you use BB-8's Illuminated Destiny as well to also regain protection. So at the end of it, if you're not using Rey's healing immunity ability, then they'll continuously regenerate health and protection while you're regenerating health and protection, but it's basically a 5-on-1. And then in the end, once you're full health, full protection, you just go to town, you kill them, and you end up with the 60 banners. So that's the idea. Hopefully you'll be able to see that in action here. Okay, so first target, of course, I have to hit Crew because he's got the pre-taunt. A lot of people make the mistake of using Smokescreen. You don't want to do that. You want to use the burn and try to get as many exposes on the board as you can. Once the exposes are on the board, then it's a piece of cake. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if I can get rid of that taunt. Okay, yes I can. Awesome. So now that the taunt's gone, we can focus on the other guys. Once I get a stun, I move on to a different target. There's no reason to constantly hit a target that's stunned. A lot of people make that mistake too. So here, we get 3 stacks there. So now the only person not stunned is the Stormtrooper. So here, you're not even going to see the the strategy that I used because I've stun locked every one of them. And I could probably even auto battle this from this point and win. I'm gonna focus down first on Kylo Ren, the regular one, because I don't want him to do his AoEs once he comes out of stun. I'm gonna avoid using the burn at this point because if I hit the burn and I do not get an expose on one of these guys, then I'm gonna stop removing the turn meter. So I'm just gonna constantly work him down little by little. And there we go. Now I'll focus on his next damage output, which will be Executioner. After Executioner's down, then I will focus on Stormtrooper. There we go. Stormtrooper is going to go down here in just a second, and then it's down to just Crew. And at this point, I can go ahead and I can put it on auto. And it's a nice, easy win. No RNG, 60 banners pretty much every time. So that was got that. Just trying to get rid of the notification here. Alright. So unfortunately you didn't get to see the the strategy that I was talking about. But you should be able to get the idea just watching that battle. It is extremely, extremely easy. If you get an expose on them, then every time a resistance person uses an ability, you're removing turn meter. So you use R2's AoE from the very beginning. You get as many exposes on them as you can. Try to spread the stuns. And it's just a super, super easy fight, and you should get 60 banners every time. Alright, so that team's done, and we have finished off the Grievous team as well. Alright. So, what do we got left here? We got some decent bounty hunters. We got Scoundrels. So Scoundrels I was planning on taking CLS against, but since they don't have the Traya on defense, I think I'm going to switch that up a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my Jedi Knight Revan, because I don't have another team that I would use that against. And I'm thinking about trying to do it 4-man. I think I can, and that would give me just a little bit more efficiency in banners. So we're going to do that. I think instead of doing Jolie, though, I'm going to do additional damage output, because I'm pretty sure that he will not have the damage output to kill anyone on my team. So I think Jolie would be a waste. So we'll do this. I'm going to focus down on mission first with the direct focus. We'll kill her real quick. Now we're not going to have to worry about Zalbar's taunt. We're not going to have to worry about Vandor Chewie's revive. At least not at this moment in time. Now see if I can't kill off L3 before Vandor gets his buff. Awesome, good. Now let's focus on Kira for a minute. I know that in just a second I'm going to have to hit Zalbar, which is unfortunate, but nothing I can do about that. Remove the taunt. Go after Kira again. Kira's down. She's back up because I did not realize that Vandor had his prepared up, so we'll just start focusing on him. And once he goes down, be a piece of cake. And I have to hit him with a debuff eventually. There we go, so he's down. So usually I will wait until I have Bastila's buffs to spread it around, but I don't always need it. Alright, so it looks like everyone's full health, full protection, so that's get an extra banner for the unused slot. And everyone's full health, full protection, so piece of cake. Looks like I dropped some more frames. Packets. Really am getting angry at my internet, but I'm going to be moving shortly, so there's no real reason for me to hound my internet service. So yes, it really depends on who I'm facing, Filma. Like if I'm, in my arena squad, right? I use Jedi Greymaster Yoda along with my Revan team, and that's because I need to get that tenacity up to fight off the corrupted battle meditation from enemy Bastilas. So in that regard, yes, I use the tenacity like immediately, but in a lot of cases, most cases, you just wait for Bastila to give her buffs so that you can spread everything. Alright, so I've used Jedi Knight Revan to beat up the Scoundrels, so that leaves still CLS. I've got CLS, I've got Traya, I've got Kira, Hoda, Nest, and I've got Emperor Palpatine. So yes, there is a reason for that bloop, and that is because Grandmaster Yoda's basic gives him turn meter if the enemy is over 50% health. And so the more times that he attacks with his basic, basically the better he does. And when the target is below 50% health, he can get defense penetration. So there are definite times that I use the special, but it's mainly after, like, if the target does not have 50% health, or the target does not have any protection, so that I can get the stun from that special, or so it's really dependent upon the situation, on what's going on. All right, so we've got I've still got Traya, I've got Troopers, I've got Kira, Nest, and Hoda. I've got a lot left to deal with these guys. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the best use of my teams. Oops. Yes, we are. I'm just trying to decide which team I want to take against it. He doesn't really have a heck of a lot of damage output, except he does have the exposes from Sabine's Zeta AoE. And he's got the staggers as well. That can be a problem if I choose the wrong team. He definitely should have, but I have a feeling that he probably Gear 12 this Phoenix before the bounty hunters were actually a thing. I do like Wampa against Phoenix, but not against fully Gear 12 and fully Zetaed Phoenix. I think I might go with my original. Well, no, I don't really want to do. I'm trying to figure out an undergeared team that I can use against it, or like an underpowered team like the Triumvirate by themselves. But I'm too afraid of Sabine's Zeta to do that. I don't want to underestimate a fully Zetaed team. And I've got a lot to work with. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just taking in CLS and going extreme overkill. Gotta figure out who I'd want to bring in as my fourth, or fifth rather. I want to make sure that CLS keeps the guard. I think I'm gonna probably just do Hoda as fifth. And that way, that will help me to maybe end up full health, full protection at the end. I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright, okay, so we got a tank later on tomorrow. That will be tomorrow's stream. Do I want to take out Sabine first, or do I want to take out Zeb first? I'm going to take out Sabine first. There's too much damage output. And we will put Master's Training on Luke or Han. Luke or Han. We'll put it on Han. Pop him. Finish her off if I can. All this dodging. If I do the AoE, everyone's gonna heal. But if I attack, don't want to attack, or did not want to attack. Right, do a basic there. I'll be going against Zeb as quick as I can. I don't like that daze. Stun? No stun. I get a double counterattack there. Nope, no counterattack, that's good. Alright. Just waiting for that daze to wear off Chewie. I get a stun? No stun. Daze is off of Chewie. And Yoda's getting hurt. Now the daze is back on Chewie. So annoying. This is why you don't want to underestimate Phoenix. Get rid of turn meter over there. Alright, so let's see if I can't finish him off. Get rid of that daze. Alright, finally. Daze is gone. Alright. Gotta get that protection recovery going from, at least on those three. Oda will not finish with full protection, it looks like. Get a stun over here. Good. Let's focus you because I know that you are gonna get that stupid buff off. Alright, so there we go. 59 banners. Probably didn't need old Ben at all, quite honestly. Alright, so CLS is gone. Phoenix is gone. Still have Kira and Nest, but Huda is gone. Alright, so I've got Troopers, which I'll probably use against this low gear bounty hunter team. My Troopers are kind of low gear. I've got Traya, I've got Palpatine, I've got Kira and Nest. I don't like Nest against really any of these teams. So let's go ahead and do the Troopers here. I don't have range. I really wish I did. I'm working on them. I've got a lot of shards saved up for him, but I'm not promoting him until I'm actually ready. I don't want to inflate my GP even more. Here we go. I'm gonna get a nice and easy, quick kill on what's her face over there. So I'm just not targeting her right now. Looks like I'm not gonna finish full protection on Shore Trooper, but it's cake. Can Traya beat a Malak? No. Traya cannot beat a Malak team, not even close. Alright, so now we're on to Bounty Hunters. Here, how to decide what I want to use where. One of these is going to be Traya, the other one is going to be Emperor. No, Palpatine. A Sith team will not beat a Malak team. Sith Empire, yes. Sith team, no. So with Malak, they buffed Malak in order to nerf Emperor Palpatine. So when Malak first came out, yeah, it was possible, but not anymore. I'll show you the ability if you want that prevents it from working now. After I do this Grand Arena here, I think I'm gonna do Palpatine over here. Fighter pilot. Yeah, when Malak first came out, there was a nice, like, what do they call it? Paper, rock, scissors meta, because of Palpatine, but then they basically changed it so that Sith enemies cannot gain bonus turn meter, which just screwed over Palpatine lead. Getting that ability block over onto what's his face? Onto Boba Fett. Don't know why I can't think right now. Spreading that ability block all over the place. Getting some good damage in. I'm gonna just basic here to get the stun. I'm gonna save the fracture. So I'm trying to use Thrawn to regenerate as much protection as I can, and if I fracture, that's actually gonna hurt, because every time I use an ability while Thrawn has fracture up, it reduces his turn meter. That's just another mistake that I see all the time that people make. Like, they mention that they want to regenerate protection when they're using a Thrawn on a team, and then they use Thrawn's fracture, which sometimes that's what you need to do. But if they have an ability block, his basic does the same thing as a stun, or as fracture, because fracture is basically a stun. I don't know why people just constantly make that mistake. But now here, I can fracture on Dengar, and that'll prevent him from doing his AoE damage and BS, which is going to help me in the long run. I'm going to do that and prevent Bosk from taunting, hopefully, using ability blocks. That didn't happen there. Now fracture's off. I can reduce that little bit of turn meter. Continuing to focus on Dengar. Try to get the ability block over on Bosk. Keep him from taunting. Here we can do this to gain turn meter. Hopefully get just that last turn, which it looks like I did. So I can top off TIE Fighter pilot. Vader is way too far down to get his stuff back, but everyone else is full hit points, full protection, so 59 banners, and that's how you maximize your banners using Thrawn. Now you gotta take advantage of ability block and stun, and not just count on the specials. Okay, so last team we've got is this Finn team with a couple of zetas. I'm gonna go ahead with my Scion Nihilus, etc. See if I want to do any other Sith here. Not particularly. What I would like to bring in is probably just these two guys. So they both got a daze, which is going to help because Finn's leadership grants turn meter as well as removes turn meter. So I think with the dazes that'll help quite a bit, provided that I can get the dazes off. I'm hoping that my Nihilus is going to be fast enough, looks like he is, to get this cooldown reduction over on Poe. So if he were to go first, that would have really screwed me up. I'm going to isolate on Poe, and that should hopefully help avoid some of the some of that turn meter junk. I'm going to try to get a stun over here on Scavenger Ray, because that's their big DPS. And we will focus her down. That was nice and easy. Let's try to get rid of Poe, I guess. Now I've got the Saber Throw up. I'm going to see if I can't Saber Throw her and one-shot her. Almost. This will finish her off. Okay, so Finn just cleared all those debuffs. No big deal. Here goes the Annihilate. We will see if I can't kill the pilot. Nope, not quite. This will finish him off. And there's the end of Poe. Nice and easy, 59 banners. Someone lost a little bit of protection, but that was to be expected. So that's a nice, easy clear. Full clear. And my opponent hasn't attacked. I don't expect him to attack tonight. If he does attack, he might even just attack one time, or at least until he fails. And that would be the end of that. Because if he fails an attack anywhere, then he's lost. But if you liked this video, please feel free to toss a little thumbs up on it. Appreciate that. And if you're feeling really generous, a subscription would be awesome. But if not, that's okay too. But y'all have a great night.